Hey guys, it's Daniel, licensed therapist. Nobody likes losing, and if you do, you're probably a loser. But obviously, none of you amazing people are losers, and we don't want to get comfortable with losing, but there are some people who take losing better than others. And here we have a big loser on our hands, guys. If any of you watched the Super Bowl, you would have seen two great quarterbacks go at it. And one of them did this.
Hurts on a quarterback draw. Nowhere to go. The ball is loose. Sitting on the turf. It's picked up by Bolton. No one in front of him is going to score.
Nick Sirianni, he stresses it's all about the ball. They're almost impossible to beat if they protect the ball. You'll see there Nick Bolton, number 32. He gets the strip, the fumble recovery, and the touchdown. Jalen Hurts just having a hard time putting that ball away.
And that was the difference in the game. This was Philadelphia quarterback Jalen Hurts, and I can guarantee that he wants this one back, but you can't get it back, so you have to deal with it mentally. And as a person who likes watching sports, you see different people deal with losing in all kinds of ways, and I must say that the way that Jalen deals with losing, the biggest game of his life, was pretty picture perfect. Please allow your guy to highlight some of the parts of his post-game interview and explain what makes this guy such a good loser. Let's get into it.
It's tough. It's tough. We worked really hard to have this opportunity and to come up short. It's tough. I think there's always a lot to learn from, and we get the opportunity to reflect on some of the things we didn't do, could have done, but I think there's a lot to learn from it.
Right off the bat, I love what he's saying here. He's taking the win or learn perspective. A lot of people fear failure so much because of the meaning they associate with it. We can take hits to our ego, such as, I am not good enough. We can have negative deterministic thoughts, such as, I screwed up my only chance, and I'm never going to get another chance. Some people think of the humiliation or focus on what people think. And what I do as a therapist is, first of all, let the client know that their thoughts are a choice. We are in control of what we think, and each choice sends us down a path, and each of these paths lead us to a mental state. And as a therapist, I offer different thoughts that lead to better emotional states. And one very common thought I introduce to clients who fear failure is the win or learn approach to losing. If we can adopt that, we will never lose. This is a big martial arts mantra because in martial arts, you will lose. So far, I'm impressed with Jalen, and it appears to me that he has actually been thoughtful about his mentality, which is pretty amazing. Let's continue.
I think for me, we lost. We came here to win, came up short, so it's something that I know that'll motivate me. I've been here before. That's the beautiful thing about it. So I'll figure it out.
We already know that with the win or learn mentality, he will not take the loss too hard. And with good ego strength, he will not get knocked down too much, despite fumbling on the biggest stage. And that's a setup of him today looking into the future and focusing on what he can control. He knows that it's not a guarantee that he's going back to the Super Bowl, much less win the Super Bowl. So it's not something that he can bank on, but he knows that this will be fuel to work hard and to become better. And he has a clear picture of that positive future because he already lived it through past failures. And here we can see the amazing benefit of losing, which is learning how to deal with losing and to not be afraid of losing.
You either win or you learn. That's how I feel. You either win or you learn. So, as always, win, lose, or draw. I always reflect on the things that I could have done better, things we could have done better, to try and take that next step, and that'll be the same process that goes on now. You know, I don't do this to be loved. I don't do this to be hated. I don't do this to seek anyone else's approval. I do it for the guys in the locker room. I do it for the guys in the locker room. I do it for all the time that we've invested into this. Do it for the love and the thrill of growing at something. We put the work in, and you go out there and get it. You know, you go out there and you make it happen. And you know, it is a tough feeling to come up short. You know, it's a very tough feeling. But I know that the only direction is to rise. And you know, that'll be the MO going forward. That'll be the mentality going forward. That is the mentality. You know, obviously, credit them for the game that they played, and a very competitive football game, and a competitive football team, and Coach Reed. But, you know, we'll sit back and we'll reflect on it, and we'll learn from it.
There it is. He says, win or learn. And we can see how that is central to his mindset. And it then causes less intense feelings of negativity. And notice, he says that he doesn't play to be loved or for approval. He is not motivated by the validation of others, which is nice because there may be some pissed off Philly fans out there. But what someone is motivated by is so important. And he says that he is motivated to perform for his teammates and for the love of growing at something. The validation of fans is definitely fickle. You can be loved one day and hated the next, but the two things he is motivated by can practically never go away. So he's not swayed by public perception. He will not take an ego hit, and he can continue to excel without the psychological barrier.
I don't think this game is defined by one play. One play throughout the game, one call, whatever it was. You know, I'm big on self-reflection and reflecting on the things that I could have done better. So, you know, I think I'm gonna challenge everyone, and I've already challenged everyone to think about those things, because it's the same process that we go about win, lose, or draw. You know, it's look yourself in the mirror and be able to learn from everything. You know, like I said, you either win or you learn.
So he adopts the narrative that the game is not won by one play. And that is true. But what I would say is equally true is that if he did not fumble the ball, the other team would have 7 less points, and his team lost by 3 points. Both are equally true, but he chooses the narrative that leads to much more peace. He doesn't beat himself up. He doesn't take more responsibility than he should, and I feel that it is a fair and balanced narrative. And of course, he says win or learn again, and you can tell it is something that has been drilled into his mind, and that isn't his first rodeo.
I don't think the stage or the magnitude really matters. You know, we lost. You know, we lost, and we came up short. I feel bad for the guys in the locker room, coaches, the time that they put in. You know, we'll learn from it. I never really try to put my own faith in someone else's hands. So they did a great job of executing, but again, the game ain't over till it's over. So, you know, we didn't. There's some things that we didn't execute. The last play well. You know, some kind of, you know, definitely want to finish in the red zone and score points. You know, some little things like that, but you know, they found a way to win in the end, and I give a lot of respect to them for that. I'm not thinking about none of those. I don't think about any of those things. You got to treat every play independently, and that's my mentality in it. So I wasn't reflecting on anything that happened in the past. I was just trying to stay in the moment and be present.
Again, I feel like this guy really worked on his mentality. And I would not be surprised if he saw a psychologist or a therapist in order to really craft the different parts of his mentality that we are seeing right now. He talks about not putting faith in someone else's hands, and he focuses on what he can control. This demonstrates the increased empowerment that his mentality creates. And we all know that it feels good when you feel empowered, and it feels bad when you feel powerless. So his emphasis on what he can do is, I would say, perfect. And he also says he stays present. And that sounds like a line out of the mindfulness handbook. I used to work with an awesome psychologist named Jamie. He would say that people get messed up when they live in the past or the future, and that we should all live in the present. And that's what Jalen is doing. So, I don't know, maybe he's seeing Jamie.
Man, I think you want to cherish these moments. You want to cherish these moments with the people that you've come so far with. Your family, your loved ones, your teammates, your peers, everyone that you do it with and do it for. And I'm so proud of this team. I will say I'm so proud of this team for everything that we've been able to overcome. Obviously, we had a big-time goal in the end that we wanted to accomplish, and we came up short. I think the beautiful part about it is everyone experiences different pains. Everyone experiences different agonies of life, but you decide if you want to learn from it. You decide if you want to use that to be a teachable moment, and I know what I'll do.
There it is again. Learn. He also talks about reflecting on the beautiful parts of the journey, which for me shows his ability to choose what he focuses on. For so many people, it would be so difficult to not replay that moment of failure in his mind over and over, and the result of that is we have traveled down a rabbit hole that leads to embarrassment and self-condemnation. But instead, he's able to not take a black and white approach and to see the good that has happened, which is amazing after your biggest failure, which has been broadcast to over 100 million people. So I am definitely impressed with Jalen, and I thought it was such a good illustration of what I do with clients in therapy and how effective it can be to curate a mentality to deal with the failures you will eventually face in life. In my opinion, Jalen is going to be successful and have a good time doing it. He may never win the Super Bowl, but I can guarantee that he's going to win in life. It doesn't matter if he's playing football or selling foot cream. I can tell you that he will never get too down. He will find his empowerment in any situation. He's going to believe in himself. And you bet your butt, he's going to learn. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.